The microphone is on.
What? Top of the morning to yous. My name's Hallie O'Malley. These are my friends Carrie and Anahí, and welcome to Purl Perspectives.
And we are stopping the accent right now.
I'm sorry, I couldn't
let's
not.
not
Like, it's St. Patrick's Day, and I apologize to all the Irish folk I offended with that. That was absolutely atrocious. But, oh, don't forget to pause or mute your thing. Yeah, there we go. But it is St. Patrick's Day, so happy St. Patrick's Day to all those who celebrate. We're all wearing green, so unfortunately we can't pinch each other. Maybe that's a good thing.
But you know,
pinch Bilbo.
We can pinch Bilbo because he's not wearing.
He's like, oh my god, guys.
He's like, WTF, Mom? Look at that little face.
You're ruining my life.
Look at that little blip.
Look at that little blip. He's just happy to be here.
He is our official mascot.
Yeah, Hundy Pete.
Absolutely.
Would anybody like some... Ooh, man. Would anybody like some props?
I would like a prop, please.
Okay, here. I'm definitely taking off these because I need actual glasses.
Do you want the glasses or do you want the necklace?
I already have glasses, so it's a little complicated.
Okay.
Glasses. Necklace
The
or headband?
glasses.
Yeah, whichever. Dealer's choice.
I'm going to keep on the headband.
Oh,
I don't
because
know-
you look so cute in
I don't
it.
know if you could tell, but they're green and they're gold, and they can change color.
Ooh
'Cause
la
I can put the sprinkles, the sequins up
Your
either way.
very own pot of gold.
My very own pot of gold. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm done.
That was more British than it was.
Yeah, that
Irish.
was,
I never claimed to be good at accents. I just really wanted to be funny for once in my life. So.
And I have not an
God.
Irish drop of blood in my body.
Oh, I do.
But boy, howdy do I enjoy the paraphernalia. Yeah.
I love the idea of potentially one year going to Dublin for St. Patrick's Day, but I hate large crowds. They give me anxiety.
Oh, well, there you
So
go.
I think maybe not.
Yeah,
I
maybe
feel like
let's
it
not
would
do that.
already be a
Maybe
better
not.
experience than here, just because
Yeah.
at least, it's more...
Yeah.
But Ali, didn't you say that one of your colleagues told you that St. Patrick's Day is actually not that celebrated in Ireland?
Yes. So one of my colleagues is Irish. It's actually pretty cool. He's been working on researching and writing books about the history of the Irish language in Canada, because apparently that had not been written down before he did that.
Seems like a huge misstep.
Seriously.
They
Shout
should
out to
write
Danny.
that down.
Yeah. So he's working on that. It's pretty cool. And from what he's told me, St. Patrick's Day isn't the balls to the wall celebration. There,
Can we say balls to the wall on YouTube?
well, we just did, so
Balls to the wall.
it isn't as huge of a celebration in Ireland by Irish folk as it is by the tourists to Ireland, right?
Oh,
It's a celebration, but it's not like people don't go as hard in Ireland as they do in North America.
Okay.
It seems to be more of a diaspora celebration.
So it's like Cinco de Mayo.
Kind of, yeah, I
Cinco de
think
Mayo
so.
is not a celebratory time in Mexico. I'm Mexican.
If you didn't
But
know.
because of the diaspora that settled in North America, that is one of the dates that became a big event for
Yeah.
those that live outside of the country but
Yeah.
maintain their root. And now it's just enjoyed by everyone. So go ahead and have your tequila. For sure. Find
Tequila.
any excuse you can.
Anyone you want. Yeah.
So happy St. Patrick's Day to
Yeah.
anyone who is celebrating, whether you have some Irish blood in you or not, or if, like me, you're just appreciative of the culture, at least the one that we have here in Canada. Lots of events are going to happen around the city this weekend.
They've
Yes.
already dyed the river in Chicago green. They did that yesterday.
How do they do it? Is it actually paint?
I think so. I think it's I remember reading about this yesterday. But they use a dye that's non-toxic to the environment.
So food coloring situation?
Must be. And it empties
Let
out
us
into
know
the
if
Great
you
Lakes,
know
so.
in the
If you're in
Comment
Chicago, taste the water. No, don't do that.
But
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna go have a beer later today.
do it.
Why
Oh, you know,
not?
I was thinking I should have put a cider in my bag
Oh,
to bring with me, and then I didn't.
Whoops.
That's fine.
Well, missed opportunity.
I mean, it is only 2:00 in the afternoon on a Sunday.
That's right. So, welcome to Purl Perspectives. We are your hosts, Carine,
Carine.
Ali,
O'Malley.
And
Just for today.
yeah. So, yeah, we have a lot to tell you today.
We do?
I think so, because last time we were live, we were rudely interrupted by...
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, the construction. It feels so blissfully silent.
I know. So first of
Don't
all,
jinx it.
the tea.
Yes, give.
It turns out one of my neighbors sold their unit and somebody else moved in, and
Okay.
they were doing full-on renovations. Like, they stripped it to the bone. And actually, the winner of the challenge is you, Allie.
Me?
Because they did fully replace their floorboards. There was the big pile of the floorboards was at the garbage collection area.
Like the next day?
The next day, and I was like,
Lols.
oh, they
Lols, lols.
confirmed.
Do I know construction or do I know construction?
And I feel like, in a way, we have to thank our friend Andy, who actually does work in construction,
Yes.
because we have learned so much about renovations from
That
her.
is true.
Thank you, Andy,
Yeah.
for your wisdom. Yeah, and so I regret to inform the two of you that I have been cranky for 2 weeks because the renovations did not stop there.
No.
They kept going all week.
Seriously?
Jesus.
It was the worst. And because these are new owners, they're not in the neighbors chat, where all
He didn't
of
even
the,
bother to like tell people?
they don't know anybody.
But
Yeah,
they didn't
but-
even like put up signs or anything?
Absolutely
Or like
nothing.
knock on the door going, hey, I'm going to be
Wow.
gutting this
Yeah,
place.
especially of the surrounding units.
Yeah. So like
Yikes.
everyone else who lives in
Yikes.
this like building complex was just like,
WTF, man.
exactly. And we had no way to meet them because like obviously they're not here. It's just the workers that
Yeah.
are doing the renovations.
Okay.
We don't have their contact information because they are not in the system with the property managers. So there was not even, there was no point in even like complaining because there's nobody to complain to. So anyway, I've had really bad noisy days for the last 2 weeks.
Yikes.
And I'm so glad to have my peace back.
You know what I'm saying?
I hope they're done.
I hope so too. And I really, really, truly hope that
I
their
hope they're
place
done.
ended up looking beautiful because the emotional tax
Yeah.
was great.
They're not allowed to do any further renovations
Yeah.
unless they pay to send you all on vacation.
I feel like they owe me a beer.
At least.
Um,
At minimum.
At the very least.
Invite me for coffee and cookies because
Let me
we need to
see-
repair
yeah.
we need to repair this neighborly relationship that did not start on the right foot.
Better question what relationship.
Yeah,
You don't
yeah.
even know them yet.
Introduce yourself to me, neighbor, and invite me for coffee because I would like to set things right.
Yikes. Yikes,
Anyway,
yikes.
so
And it wasn't
that's-
even the unit above you. It was the unit like
it was
beside
not.
Right?
over or
Yeah.
something. So apologies to the neighbor upstairs. We were dissing you unnecessarily.
It was not my neighbor upstairs. It was my neighbor up and behind.
So the noise was just traveling through the spaces
Yeah.
in between the units.
Which I can only imagine how bad it felt for my neighbor upstairs.
Yeah, she's right next to it.
If they were right next to it.
Christ on a cracker, that's a lot
Ooh-wee.
of noise. Like we were overwhelmed by it. Technically
Mm-hmm.
2 units over.
I know. On the plus side, in order for me to feel better,
Mm-hmm.
we had to go on a walk, and so my partner like grabbed the dog and myself, and he was like, let's go get some coffee.
Yeah.
Afterwards, we got some coffee, and then we walked by Wabi Sabi, the yarn store that's
Our local
close
yarn
to us.
store.
And he was like, don't you want to go into the yarn store? And I said, no, I don't have anything to buy. And he was like, you don't need to have anything to buy to go into the yarn store. And I was like,
Aw. You're correct.
this is the correct thing to say when I'm
Yes.
having a bad day.
I don't know if Gerbo realizes how high he is setting the bar
Mm-hmm.
for
Yeah.
like those of us who are currently
Green
uncoupled.
flags.
Right?
Yeah.
Like every time you tell me something that Gerbo's done, I'm like, okay, so my future prospective partner needs to like the bar is just getting like thanks Gerbo.
Yeah.
Like I ain't gonna settle now.
So I had
'Cause
a
I know
lovely
you.
time because another thing that's wonderful about Wabi Sabi is that it's quiet in there. So I had like a really peaceful few moments in Wabi Sabi with my 2 favorite boys,
Yeah.
and I got myself some variegated sock yarn from a brand that I had never used before. I casted them on immediately, had a lovely afternoon, and yeah, my day really turned around after that. So thank you to my partner and to Wabi Sabi for being the light at the end of the tunnel.
Of the very long
Oh,
and
Oh man,
That was a long time.
loud tunnel.
absolutely.
Did I tell you that I got a Wabi Sabi gift card for my birthday?
You did. I'm so excited for you.
I hadn't decided what I was going to do with it, and then last week at Bilbo. Wow, he does not want me to talk about Wabi Sabi. He's like, I'm over it. You should move on.
Poor boy.
Last week at Knit Night, I was talking to one of our fellow makers, Emily, and she mentioned that she really wanted to try knitting for Olive's pure silk.
Yes.
And Wabi Sabi just happens to carry it.
Yes, they do.
And I'm thinking, okay, we're heading into the warmer months. I don't really have too many warm weather garment plans yet. What if I use this gift card to invest in yarn that I probably wouldn't have purchased on my own?
Yeah,
so
that's
a
great use for a gift card.
I'm going to find a pattern that I really like, and then I'm going to go get the yarn. I haven't decided on color or pattern yet. So if you have any good recommendations for like warm weather garments that would be good in a silk, let me know. I do know for a fact that Rebecca Clow of the Crea Bea is currently designing a Tolsta tank.
Yeah, because she has a Tolsta tee.
Yeah, and so she's currently doing like a thin strapped tank top. I think she also has like a sleeveless version of her Tolsta tee. I don't know if she's released that as a pattern yet. But so I'm kind of leaning in that direction, but I am open to suggestions. I am very pliable when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Pliable.
I can easily be led astray in new directions. So
I am also very susceptible to marketing.
Yeah.
Very influenceable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone should take away my phone because I always change my mind after being on TikTok for a little bit, or being on Instagram for a little bit. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm changing all of these things about my life. So yeah, I'm easily convinced.
Yeah. See, I have to admit, I'm kind of the opposite where, well, it depends. If it's like some kind of ad that is interrupting what I'm watching or doing, I hate it. I don't care what you're selling me.
In the middle
I don't care what you're
YouTube
selling
video?
me. It doesn't matter what it is dead to me. So like, you've already lost. But then even on Instagram, I realized that like I can like something, be like, oh, that's beautiful, but then I can move on.
Yeah.
And
How are you liking it?
I like it. It's
You're
not
like
as
a month
overwhelming.
into your journey now?
Yeah, I think so. It's not as overwhelming as I thought it was going to be. I think because I held on so long without it, so it's not the first thing I check in the morning, and it's not the last thing I check before bed. But
And you turned off the notifications.
Oh, 100%. I can't stand that noise. But the only notifications I get is from you guys.
Oh, nice.
Because I want to know what's happening. But
I'm honored.
Yep, thanks.
But like for Instagram, no, I don't have. I enjoy it. I like. I mean, it just reminds me how much my phone is listening to me, because there's so many things that like just pop up on my feed that I'm like, I never saw, like, I don't know what this is, but it's like it probably heard me say something or heard someone around me say something, and then it just pops up and I'm like, okay. Like,
I think it's less to do with things that people say and more about what other phones around you are searching for.
maybe.
Well, that's how the algorithm works, right? Like what it is you're more likely
It's a
to
proximity
be,
thing.
Yeah,
no?
because you're more likely to be influenced by something your friend says
that
than
makes so much
something
sense.
your phone tells you. So what happens is your phone will ping the phones that it's closest to regularly.
Yeah.
So my phone is saying, hey, you are constantly around these two women. What are the things they're looking up?
Okay.
And so it'll show me ads based off of
What
the things you
we
like. Because then I can be like, oh, hey, I saw this ad for this new bagel shop. What do you think? And you'll be like, oh my god, I went there last week and it was so good and I love it. I'm more likely to go to that bagel shop. Granted,
I'm manipulative.
I'm
When you think
more
about
likely to go
it.
to any bagel shop because
Yes.
I love bagels. But like that's how it works.
it
is
makes
instead of
sense.
just showing you stuff based off of what you're looking at, it's also mostly showing you stuff based off of what your friends are looking at.
Because, like, not just friends, apparently, because, like, when I was up there, it's mostly, like, it's Canadian, it's Quebec, Quebec territory, so nobody speaks, not nobody speaks English, but it's mostly in French, so a lot of the feeds that I got, like the,
because you were in proximity to a lot of
so,
Quebec
like, I actually,
members.
by the way, which reminds me, the one that you sent me with all the curses, I sent it to my cousin before his fight, and he was, like, laughing so hard at it. I'm like, this is the, like, chef's kiss. It's so good. But, like, it's that's
I've been
the thing.
sending her Quebecois memes. I don't understand them. I understand, like, maybe 3% of what's being said.
Oh, it was so good.
Catherine's been enjoying them. So.
But essentially, yeah, like, I realized that they're, like, now if I'm up there, I hear a lot more, like, or I see a lot more of Quebec content, like, being in my feed, but then when I'm down here, not as much.
Yeah.
Right. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
But no, so far so good. It's I have to admit, my favorite part of it isn't so much the scrolling; it's the creative
outlet.
It's the fact that I can
Reels queen.
Oh yeah.
Like I just enjoy. And it's not like I find it fun because I'm like, hey, I've never tried this feature before. Let's try this or let's try that. And that's the stuff I like.
I have to say this, buddy. Your narration voice is
so good.
Oh, thank you.
Chef's
So
kiss.
soothing.
It is like so.
Should I
nice.
start an what is it called?
ASMR
Like
channel?
I hate those.
No, wait. I love them, and I actually do want to start one.
Really?
I do.
Yeah, but you don't really talk in ASMR channels. You just make the noises.
I like the texture sounds, but I also like the whispers.
See, the whispers is what gets me. I don't
Like the
I
one
don't
where it's
like
like-
the whispers. I like that annoys me. But I do
Yeah.
like the. See, no, I don't
And
like.
then they do
I
like
don't like
the
the whispers.
microphone's down here, and then they do like the,
Yeah.
you know, and it sounds really.
But
soothing.
I like the sounds, just not the voice. Like
The
whispers.
voiceovers,
But the
yeah.
sounds, like I love.
There's
one
a
of my-
lot of different like kinds of ASMR.
Like I have a few different ones. Like I have one that's like literally just soap. And it's like they crush soap or clay
yeah.
or like, and then I have one that's like keyboards. And I have like stuff like
I
that.
love the
just,
keyboard
I'm
kind.
not a fan.
You're not a fan of the
I
sounds?
gotta admit, I'm not really a fan of ASMR videos.
But you know
about
what?
The rain sounds.
Rain, yes,
Yeah,
but I
but
think
that's
that's
like
just because
nature.
I associate that with like being inside and cozy and comfy.
Yeah.
But like where it's like somebody, because I've seen a lot of videos of people who are like clacking keyboards or eating or like just like,
Oh no, the eating.
those ones?
Ugh,
and I'm
no,
like, not a fan.
I like
No.
all of it.
no.
All of it. Give me any of it.
I like some, but not all.
And the whispered ones, like it depends on the whispers. I think some of my favorite kind is when they have the sounds of something textural accompanied with a soft-spoken narration. So
I
it's
would
not
prefer-
a whisper.
yeah,
it's
I'd
a
prefer that.
soft-spoken narration.
Soft
And
spoken
those
is better.
soft-spoken is my favorite. Look, so my vision is that I could start making content that is like fiber related. So like the sounds of notions, stitch markers, like the
Knitting
Just
needles.
the knitting
literally
needles.
knitting needles like
Yeah.
clanking together. You
the
know,
the yarn winder, the like
the yarn winder, the swift,
Yeah.
like the way that it sounds when they're like rubbing together.
Oh, so
That
much.
and then complement that with like soft spoken tutorials. As in like this is how to do brioche, but like in a very soft spoken voice that you can barely hear.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that. I like that.
Yeah, and
That's good.
listen. This is not. I'm not ashamed to say that one of my favorite kind of soft-spoken ASMR is affirmations,
That's fair.
because I find it really difficult to affirm myself. So there are videos of other people that do like self-care.
Yeah.
Not self-care, but like care for other people, like
Yeah.
brushing your hair or doing your nails
Yeah.
or
Okay,
your
I'm-
makeup, and they're like, "You look beautiful."
I would
you're
pay for someone
enough."
to like literally just brush me, like use me as a mannequin to brush my hair. Like I don't know, it sounds stupid, but I love people playing in my hair. Like
No,
so,
that's
it'd be
not
like
stupid. That's a
I
very
will like
common
sit
experience.
here for 3 hours, and you can do whatever you. Well, maybe not whatever you want, but with
You
my
can
hair,
brush
just
my
like
hair.
you can brush my hair forever and speak to whoever you
Are
want.
you
I
a
don't
Disney
care.
princess?
It sounds like you're a Disney princess.
I just love the feel
Yeah.
of somebody touching my scalp. Like it just feels so good.
No, I'm the opposite.
I'm
Actual
like, give it to
Purl
me.
touch my head and hair. Too much medical trauma.
I
Oh
will
my
smack
gosh.
you.
I had an old classmate who came up to me one day while I was working on the microscope, and was like, I can't remember if she was telling me it was time for lunch or like what, but she was trying to get my attention, and she put her hands on my shoulders to like be like, hey, and I was holding a scalpel under the microscope. I almost cut the tip of my finger off.
Oh.
First of all, never
Oy.
approach somebody who's working on a microscope and like, you know, startle them. Don't ever do
Don't
that.
do that.
Oh,
But
yeah.
secondly, what she did was she like went and she put her hands like right on the top of my shoulders, like right here, and she went like, hey, how's it going? And oh my god, I would normally characterize myself as like not confrontational. I yelled at her.
You fully snapped.
I just reacted. And not just because I almost sliced the tip of my finger off with the scalpel I was holding in my other hand, but because she touched me in a way that like there's no comfort because of medical trauma. I don't like people touching my head, neck, and shoulders. And the way she did it, I was like, I have told you time and again, do not do that. And anyway,
I feel bad.
I'm sorry, Katya, like 5 years later for yelling
Don't
at
feel
you,
bad. I think that is a very reasonable boundary.
Yeah, like...
As in, like, some people don't like to be touched for whatever reason, and you
And-
don't need a reason.
No,
if
you
you
really
don't
don't.
want it, if you just don't want to for no reason or none of anybody's business, you uphold that. So yeah, no, that's very reasonable. If you've told somebody, especially somebody you work with and you see regularly, I do not like to be touched. Please do not touch me.
Yeah.
They should not be approaching you and you know,
Which
putting their hands on you, and especially not in a surprising manner, because that
Yeah.
makes it all the worse.
On the flip side, I have a current coworker who she does that a lot to, like, you know, friends, and she's very tactile. Like, that's how she shows affection. And from the jump, I was like, please don't. This is my issue. Please don't. And she was like, yeah, totally. Every time she saw me for the first like month that I worked with her, she had to say it out loud as like a reminder to herself. But she's been really good about that.
Can we just
And
give
so
a
I'm
shout
like,
out to the people who actually listen when we give boundaries?
We
Like when
stand.
we have a boundary,
We
whatever your boundary
stand.
is. And then whoever
Yeah.
respects those boundaries,
Yeah.
not everyone does. And
Not
I
everyone does.
appreciate when they do.
Oh, speaking of boundaries, I want to show you something cute. Please hold this. So, Anahí and I went and we got some teeny tiny tattoos recently.
Hi, baby tats.
Oh, this was Taylor though. This was Taylor's
Yeah, but
whole-
it's a baby tat studio.
Baby Tat Studio. She's rebranding. Did you know that?
Oh.
Anyway, I want to show you. I got this teeny tiny little candy heart. I don't know if this is terrible. This teeny tiny little candy heart that says no in the middle of it as a Bilbo. Look at
So
this
you're
puppo.
smart.
Oh my god. As a little tiny reminder to, like, boundaries are good, they're healthy, and that you should
Yeah.
enforce them
And that
when
they
you feel
are
safe to do
set.
so.
Boundaries are set for love.
Yeah.
For love of yourself and for love of others.
Yeah.
Because if you treat me nicely and you do not trigger my anxieties, we will love each other.
Yeah,
to
we'll
the
have
end of
a
time.
hopefully
Exactly.
stress-free relationship
Exactly.
of any
So
kind.
Exactly.
when you put limits to other people and to yourself, remember you're doing it out of love. It's
Yeah.
not because you're annoying.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah,
Boundaries.
amen.
Unless you are annoying, in which case, think about that. Give that a think, I guess.
That's kind of hard though, telling somebody that you know, that you work with, that you see regularly, that you take the bus with every day, that is in your community, that they're annoying. It's hard to tell someone that.
Well, maybe don't say it like that, but because it's not so much that a person is annoying, is they're doing something in their
behaviors.
behavior is annoying.
Yeah.
It could be that they talk too much, guilty. It could be that they, I don't know, maybe they do the touching when you don't want it, or maybe they do some kind of, I don't know, people. I'm trying to think of like things you don't like. Somebody who eats with their mouth open,
So
like
gross.
you know, something that's just annoying to you. So it's not so much that the person is annoying.
Yep.
Is that you are
It's that
annoyed.
you are annoyed
That's
by
true,
something they
right?
do.
That's
Maybe
true.
you approach it from that angle, like, well, hey, I like you as a person, but maybe don't chew with your mouth open,
Yeah.
or whatever. Insert whatever
considered.
annoying thing the
Yeah.
person does.
Anyway.
What are we working on today?
I'm still working on my Velocore. I am the world's slowest maker.
That's fine.
But
I'm
look
still
how
not
pretty-
done with it.
Look how
You're
pretty it's coming along.
But you're not a slow maker. You have just a lot of projects
It's
on
giving,
the go.
it's giving me
That's
cameo vibes. I like it.
Cameo vibes?
Yeah, like desert cameo.
Yeah.
Oh, camo.
Oh, camo. Sorry.
Like camouflage.
Camo.
Yeah, camouflage.
That was so off.
I like
It's
too that
camo.
it's almost like a reverse of Liz's. So
Yeah,
one of the people in
that's
our
true.
knit group, Liz, she made hers with the variegated color as the main color and the neutral. I think she also used a cream as the contrast color. And she just finished it earlier this week and posted a photo in our chat, and it looks so
Beautiful.
good.
So
Oh my God.
good.
Actually, so smart. I almost want to make another one where I do that.
I
Have like
know,
the variegated
because the pattern
colorful.
says to hold the solid yarn as your main and the variegated as your
Yeah.
contrast.
Yeah. Because it's inspired, the pattern is inspired by bookshelves.
Yeah,
Right? So the
it's meant
contrast
to
is
look like
book-
books on a shelf.
Yeah,
Which it kind of does.
it does.
Yeah.
It does.
I
really
love
does.
it. I'm enjoying this project so much.
I
I feel
love
like it sort of like comes in and out of enjoyment for
Yeah.
me, because when I started I was super excited and I found it really challenging to do like the twists,
Mm-hmm.
which is just like a half cable, no big deal. And then after I learned the motif,
After,
it
like, an
started
inch of it?
getting so repetitive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't want to work on it anymore.
fair.
But now it kind of came back, and then I put it back down and forget
Yeah.
about it. So yeah, now it's back on my hands, and I'm really enjoying making it.
I found once you kind of memorize the motif, it became really good, like TV knitting, game night knitting,
Oh, totally.
lunchtime knitting, meeting, like where you didn't need to be concentrating on it.
Yeah, almost as easy as
popcorn.
working on socks in the round. You know, or the muscle bra hat.
She just updated the pattern. Did you know that?
Yeah, she
Is
put
it-
a section for modification.
Yeah. So Isolde
nice.
Teague has created the muscle bra hat. Scottish designer.
Which I feel we all three have a muscle bra.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
I've
mine
knit-
is not finished, but
But you do. You have one. I made one for you.
oh well, yeah.
Well,
that's
I made one and you have it. So.
I made
yeah.
one and I gave it away, and then I made one that was kind of not the muscle bra, but it was similar because I did it in worsted weight, which is outside of the gauge for the.
Yeah.
So I had to kind of like redesign it. But anyway, yeah, I have multiple,
I've made
and I have
3.
another one in the needles too.
I love it. Anyway, Isolde Teague, the designer, just recently released an update to the pattern where she gives you, because essentially the pattern works is you knit like a really long tube, or just in shot, you knit a really long tube and you start like an end with like kind of the end of a sock, where
Yeah.
it's just like, you know,
So it's a giant toe
on either end of
on
a tube.
either end.
And you fold it inside itself, so you have a double layer, and then if you fold up the brim, you end up with 4 layers of fabric over your
So
ears.
nice, so warm.
So warm. I've been wearing
Looks
mine.
good on everyone.
All winter has been, like, I made one for my dad. He's been wearing it all winter. I made one that I gave to Carine. She wears it quite a bit. It's awesome. Anyway, nonetheless, Isolde just released this update where she gives you the length of the sections. So if you want to have different colored brims, you can do that now, which is so, and you don't have to like
Isn't
weigh
that
the yarn
cool?
and kind of guess.
Mhm.
So,
very
I
cool.
kind of want to cast on another one where
I
I have
know.
like a peak of color for the brims or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. I think it'd be fun.
I love
So.
Isolde's designs.
Yeah.
So classy and like I want to say simple, but what I really mean is
They're very versatile.
versatile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Cuz I love me a showy piece,
Mhm.
but I kind of get tired of patterns when they're very recognizable and I don't want to wear them a lot. Whereas, like a classic raglan, for example, in
Yeah.
a solid collar, I
Yeah.
could wear that multiple times a week.
And one thing I've noticed as well, the sweaters that I tend to reach for more often are ones that not so much are similar to ones that I have that are like ready to wear off the rack, fast fashion, but are like similar kinds of shapes and designs.
Oh, yeah.
Something that's not like overly structural or like huge motifs or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But they're very like simple. I don't want to use the word utilitarian. I think versatile is probably more the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Something that can be worn with so many different outfits in so many different ways.
Yeah, versatile.
Yeah, it's just like I've got a couple of sweaters that are fast fashion that I bought right off the rack. They're very like they're monochrome, you know, single color. They're like a boxy shape. I can wear them over a dress. I can wear them over jeans. And those are the kinds of knits that I tend to lean towards.
Yeah.
Well.
And sometimes I find interest in the texture more than in the colors.
Yes.
I'm into color work for sure, but I don't know. I feel like I don't wear color work as much.
Same.
Just the same way that my clothes are not super patterned.
Speaking of ASMR,
I know, right?
If dog snoring is for
What's
you.
on your needles?
so
Can we? Do you
first
mind?
we have construction, now we have Bilbo. I am being silenced.
At least Bilbo
No,
is
I'm
cute.
joking. I'm joking.
yeah,
Bilbo
we
is
forgive
cute.
him because he's handsome.
So very handsome. So I'm working on the same thing I was working on last week.
Another slow maker.
Oh, 100%. But however, that being said, part of the reason, I'll explain it in a second. So I'm just a little bit further than I was last week. Where's the shoulders? So I've
Woohoo!
split for the sleeves. I'm
Yay!
working on the body. I've done the I-cord bind off for both sleeves. And my plan
it
was to
looks
have
so
the
good.
I-cord
It
bind off
looks
for the
really
neck
nice.
done by today, but that didn't happen. So I'll go back and do that
So
after we hang up here.
Oh, I can't wait to finish this.
But it looks, honestly, it's so nice.
So
It's
nice.
funny because I did the first I-cord bind off at knit night on Thursday. It took me 2 hours to do.
Wow.
I did the second one on Friday evening and it took me 45 minutes.
Well, yeah, because
Oh.
knit night is
Yes.
it's
It takes
a
forever because
Chatty.
you
it's
pause and chat
yeah,
and drink
you
your bubble
pause
tea.
and you're
Love the glasses, Annie. Thank you, Andrea.
Thanks.
But yeah, so I'm still working on that. However, for those of you who follow us on Instagram, you may have seen that I shared a picture of a cake of yarn on our stories. And I was like, can't wait to show you my whip. And I was so excited because I'm making a pair of socks and I was almost finished the cuff on the second one. And I was like, oh yeah, I can totally get this heel turned and then be working on the foot when we're sitting having our stream. Like, it'll be great. Oh my god, I'm gonna be like done this sock, no problem. I finished the cuff. I looked at it. I was like, something isn't right here. And so I held up sock number 1 to it, and I realized that I was supposed to knit the cuff on a larger needle size because of the color work. And so it was comical. This was the cuff number 2. This was cuff number 1. There was like like when they were laid flat, there was like almost a 2 centimeter difference between them.
That is comical.
So I ripped it back, and now I just have this teeny tiny little cuff. But this is sock number 1.
Oh, it is beautiful.
What
this
a cutie.
This is the Kigi sock by Yuka. Now we know what he feels about this. And it's really cool because it has this like beautiful quilted motif.
It kind of looks like leaves almost.
They're just slip stitches.
Wow.
They're slip stitches, and then you like knit a couple rounds, and then you pull those, like, because you're slipping with the yarn in front, and you pull that yarn from your slip stitches up and over the next round. So it's really interesting how it's done. I love it. There is an option to put like a secondary cuff in the top, and I think I'm going to, because these are just a little bit too short to wear in my boots like this.
I also would appreciate some ribbing on top of the color work.
Yeah, so
because
that's what
I
I'm
have
gonna do.
bony ankles. Yeah. The rest of me isn't bony, but my ankles are. And I feel like if I don't have some grip, the socks just slide down.
They were very much short socks when I tried them on. I was like, okay, we're gonna go back and add that secondary cuff. But,
I have to say, I love that we have that option when we're making stuff for ourselves. Yeah, we can make it to fit.
Yes.
Our bodies.
Amen. I don't know if I've mentioned it here on the pod before or not, and if I have, bear with me, I'm just going to repeat it. Last year, when I got my current job, my dream job, I congratulated myself by investing in the 2024 Sock Squad from Farmer's Daughter Fibers.
Giddy girl.
This is a dyer, not a collective, but this is a woman-owned, I believe an indigenous-owned company based in Montana, and they do a year of sock sets. And so I was like, you know what? I freaking love knitting socks. I just got my dream job. Congrats to me. I'm getting myself a year of socks. And so this was the March yarn. I've made the January and the February. I definitely know I was working on the January socks in our first episode, but I don't think I ever showed the February ones.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I definitely have them on my Ravelry, but I can put up a photo on my Instagram as well. And those ones, oh my god, it was comical. So the February socks that I made, I decided I was going to do each pair of socks for the year was going to be a pattern that had less than 50 completed projects on them. Because I wanted to create socks that weren't out there in the world quite as much. And so
that's nice.
I have a bundle saved on my Ravelry called 50 or less than 50, something like that. And it's got over 300 patterns that you can make with the sock set.
Oh, cute.
That all have less than 50 completed projects.
You compile that entire list of 300?
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, I've been like working on it. It's not just like I did it in a weekend. I've been like slowly adding to it over time.
I love that.
But,
do you like filter your search on Ravelry for projects less than 50?
So what I did was, yes and no. I did a filter for fingering weight, 2 colors. Did I? No. It was fingering weight, less than 500 yards. And then there was a couple of other parameters I put in, but like very simple ones, basically to be like sock sets, right? And then from there, it populated like 800 pages of results. And I just went to like page 20 and then kept looking for like where it was 50. I mean, I probably could have filtered for
I don't know that that's a parameter you can...
But I didn't think it was. So I just like found where it started of like 50 projects or less, and then just have been slowly over the past like 2 months going through the results, right?
That's such
and, like,
hard work.
them. But it's been fun though, because it's like I'll be sitting on the bus on my way to work and I'll be like investigating patterns, or you know, home while I'm dinner's in the oven, investigating patterns. It's been quite enjoyable. And the pattern that I picked for my February socks was very color work heavy, and I, as has been previously established, am a very tight knitter, and I'm not very comfortable with color work. I don't do it all that often, so I overcompensate. And so the socks are comically large.
Oh.
And I realized, like, by the time I got to the heel, I'm like, there's no way these are fitting me. So they have now been put in my gift pile. And at Christmas, one of my large-footed family members will be receiving these socks.
So if you have large feet and are related to Allie, put in your application today to receive a pair of socks.
It's a good thing my sister's in Taiwan and not watching this live, because
That's
she
so
would be
funny.
blowing up my phone in the chat right now otherwise.
So how come they ended up so large? Did you go up a needle size?
So
Or were you compensating with tension?
a little bit of both. So the pattern calls for the color work to be done on 2.75 millimeter needles, which I did.
Uh-huh.
And then because I was worried that I was going to be knitting too tightly, I normally wear a 64 stitch sock. I went up to 72 stitches.
Okay.
And then because I knit English style and was knitting on 9-inch circulars where I throw the yarn, when I do color work, I drop the yarn and then change to the next one. So I'm not constantly tensioning it the way I am when I'm knitting solo and I have it wrapped around my pinky finger.
So he ends up loosey-goosey.
So it ended up a little bit wider, and I was not even halfway through the color work when I was like, yeah, this is going to be a large sock.
Someone's paw got stuck in my yarn.
Oh, rude. How inconsiderate.
Very.
But yeah, so that's a thing. But that's good, because that means that now out of the multiple gift knit socks that I will be making, one of them's already done.
Nice. What are you working on?
I'm working on the outline tee, which I have not
so good.
finished yet, but it's getting there.
So
this
close.
This is the back,
Ooh la la.
and then the front already has I already did the
Ooh la la
the
la.
little details there.
I'm obsessed with the ladder.
Yeah,
It
the
looks
little ladder.
so good. And I love how you've done the
good.
color transition too,
I
little.
know.
I'm honestly though,
triangles.
like this probably will have been one of the hardest ones I've done, just because on this side here I actually made a mistake at some point and unraveled, but after I'd done the ladder.
Oh.
So you had to
not
ladder
thinking, oh, you're gonna
manually.
you're gonna have to redo this manually.
Whoa.
So
Yikes.
yeah, I did it, and
Woohoo!
but it was hard.
Fair enough.
I am proud of you, bud. I would have
Once
given up.
it-
I would have ripped that.
Yeah.
I was
whole
just really
side.
pissed, and I was like, no, I'm redoing. Like, I need to do this. So yeah. And then the other thing I have here, which I am almost done with, is what you're doing.
Oh yeah, Carine is much more of a monogamous knitter than Anahí and I are.
Yeah, I'm more of a squirrel. I get distracted with whips.
Yeah.
So this is all I have left to do is the
Are you
Oh my
kidding
god,
me?
the bind offs
the
on
bind
that.
off
Oh,
and the sleeves.
That looks so good.
Chef's kiss.
and
I
you were
really
able
like
to
the
do
combination.
this. You didn't have to change the striping sequence
Nope,
like you said.
Nope. I thought I still have enough. I'm pretty sure I have
my
enough
God,
to
yeah.
do the.
So
yeah.
good. It's so
The
good.
bind
And you
off
can
side.
always do like the sleeves in the blue and then the neck
That's what
and
I'm
the,
thinking.
the bottom in white if you want.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'll see how it is. I might just do the bottom in this with the same
The
two
two colors
colors,
tomorrow?
and then do these two in white, and then we'll see what happens with this.
It
right?
is beautiful.
So, but
'Cause
I'm
you,
just
you
really
know,
happy.
you could also do two that would be really cool. A 2-color I-cord bind off.
What do you mean?
Where you'll be you'll be holding 2 strands of the blue and 2 strands of the white,
Oh,
and you
okay.
do like 2 rounds of the blue in the I-cord, and then you switch and you do 2 rounds of the white in the I-cord, and 2 rounds of the blue, and then 2 rounds of the
It
white.
looks cool,
But
but
there'd be like micro
That's so
stripes.
much thinking.
that's a lot of thinking.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I. Like, honestly, I just want to finish it.
That's fair.
I feel like
that's fair.
And also, I think
But I
that
do enjoy it.
It's
It was
so
a very
beautiful.
fun pattern to do, and
the
it's,
colors are perfect for you.
Oh yeah, it's
What
giving me a beach
a
vibe.
So fun.
Splendid rocket tee. Thank you, Marie-Elise. It
I'm
is
very,
very
very
happy with
beautiful.
it. I'm very happy
It's
with
gonna
it.
look so wonderful in the summertime.
Oh yeah, I can't.
And I'm
wait
so
to wear
proud of
it.
you for fixing that like neckline. I don't know
on,
how.
on the
Yeah, on the other one.
outline
Oh
tee.
yeah, like I'm not gonna lie, I cried a little bit when I made the
The
mistake.
fact that you
So
are
I was like-
fueled by this.
I was
challenge.
fueled by anger because I was like, because I remember like unraveling and then going like, wait, what did I do? And then going like, oh no, you did not. And then realizing like you're like I have to do this manually now, and it was so frustrating. And I ended up like,
Yeah.
I put it away. I did the right thing. Instead of doing it right away, I just put it away till the next morning, and then the next morning I started back. And then I kind of like realized that if I just left a little bit of space between two two stitches.
You could
then
replicate the
I
ladder.
could replicate
Yeah.
it. It wasn't perfect, but it was
just enough.
good enough that it
Yeah.
you're not gonna notice anything.
Yeah.
Right. So
Nice.
now I know. Don't do that. Don't unravel,
You
because
will.
I was trying to fix like something really, because it's two strands held together, and I realized that like one stitch down right next to that little ladder thingy, it was only one of the strands had gotten in and the other one was out, and it was bugging me. It was so stupid.
You didn't think about just going back and tacking it down?
No, I did not. And I'm like,
This is why we do things together, so we can
I
use the
just went all the way
line.
down, and then I'm like, oh, idiot. And then yeah, it was a learning experience,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
Well, now that you're so close to being done this second major project, dare I ask what you plan on starting after?
Well, actually, I already have one that's kind of like I started ages ago, and I really, really like it, and I want to keep going. It's a snow pine tee.
Yes,
sweater.
yeah, with the pink sleeves.
Yeah, because like
Wait,
it's
I don't know
I've
the snow
seen
pine.
it. It looks so good.
I can show you.
It's a wool and pine design.
Oh, I
Yes.
love wool and pine.
And it's beautiful because it's got like different color sleeves, but it's got an overall kind of polka dot effect. With a
yeah,
third
which
contrast
I
color.
actually have the yarn that I have.
Yeah.
The 3 combinations are very similar to.
so excited.
This one. It's so similar to this. What I have.
It looks okay. Hold it up to the camera.
Right?
Show the people who
Oh
world.
Lord! Oh, I
You're
don't
gonna have
think
to
we
get
can
off the
do
couch
it.
and get closer.
Wait.
We'll
There's a lot of
put
glare. No, this
Other
way.
way.
Wait, I'm trying to. Oh, there we go.
Oh wow!
Kind
you
of.
Did it.
We'll put a link down in the
So,
in the description.
I
afterwards
really,
and
really,
for
I
this.
started. So I'm at the yoke area, and it's my first time doing what is it?
color work.
No, it's
Intarsia.
Intarsia. And it's been a really long time since I put it aside, just because I was working on 3 other things at the same time, and
Yeah.
I like
Classic.
to stick with this small. And then I was like, but I missed this one, and then I want to go back, but now I forgot how to do this thing, so I have to relearn the whole technique again. It's not that complicated. It's
Yeah,
just
it's
that
just-
my brain is not used to doing it.
Yeah, you just gotta get back into it.
But I really do want to get back to it, because like I said, the yarn I got is very similar in color. It's not the same, but it's very similar. So I already know that it's gonna have that like
Effect.
effect.
You have an idea of what it'll
and
look like when
I'm
it's done.
really happy for that. And then after this, I think another one that I want to do is color work again. And it kind of looks like one of those Icelandic sweaters that you see a lot of, but it's a little bit less
Like all the different
intense.
motifs for
Yeah, there's
Oh.
only a little bit,
Yeah.
and I've had the yarn
So a
for it.
circular color work yoke.
Yeah, I've had the
nice.
yarn for that one for a really long, like not that long, but like for a while. And I've been, because it's deep purple and white,
I love a deep purple.
and I'm obsessed with this sweater, like the no, not this one. I'm obsessed with the. So it's where's my cue?
Do people
this one.
actually use their cue? You
Yes,
use your cue?
I do.
It's run by Rachel.
Isley?
Isley.
Ooh.
And
Yeah, I
it
know that
looks
one.
so freaking like I'm obsessed again.
Do you want to know what it makes me think of? Is that if Elsa from
Right.
Frozen had a goth teenager face,
What is it
she
called?
would
sorry?
be
The
wearing
Run?
this.
It's called The Run by Rachel.
Yeah,
I'm just
The
thinking
Run.
later when I do the show notes, I'd like to say it. Run by Rachel Isley. Thanks.
It's
Miss
absolutely,
Ellen.
and it's like, so the yarn I have is like this really deep purple,
Yeah.
and then it's,
Yes,
you know that I
yes,
got
yes,
it
yes,
in
I
Wabi
do.
Sabi,
I do.
and then I
And
have a white
they
that
featured
has a
it
bit of
on
like
Instagram
purple
afterwards. It's a
and
speckled.
gold speckles
Yeah.
inside. So I'm just like this
So you're
one.
going
I'm
for
super
a
excited.
subtle
Yeah.
contrast.
Oh yeah, like I'm
Yeah.
very
Ooh.
obsessed with this. I want yeah. So
Anahí, are you planning on casting on anything new in the future, or are you holding back?
The socks that I casted on last week with my new variegated yarn are a new technique for me.
Oh,
So
fun.
that's a level up pattern in my case that I'm excited to try out. I've just gotten to the end of the foot, and now it's time for me to do the heel. And the heel's the interesting part, but it's because it's called an integrated gusset heel. So you knit all of it in the round instead of doing the heel flap back and forth and then picking up.
Oh.
okay.
So I've read through the instructions and I'm very intrigued. It looks like it ends up being a little bit less angled, like it has more length on the what do you call this part, like
The
the
gusset?
diagonal. Yeah,
Yeah.
the diagonal of your foot, it has a bit more length, but it's more rounded, so it doesn't stick out
Okay.
as much as other socks that I've made in the past.
And does that heel technique have a name?
It's called the integrated heel.
Oh, the integrate. Okay,
Integrated
okay, and that's the name of the sock pattern as well.
The sock pattern, I think, is called something different.
Nah, Elsa hid in her bedroom for a decade. Clearly, she had an emotional face.
Yeah, she did
Have you not
clearly had
watched
an
the movie? Like, yeah, exactly.
emo face. So
you
yeah,
are
that's
correct, Andy.
you are correct. Yeah, Elsa was an emo kid.
Yeah.
You cannot
All
convince
around.
me otherwise. Yeah, but that is my new cast on. So hopefully next week I will be diving into the world of the integrated heel and report back.
And
I'm
I see
excited.
that you have finished objects over
Oh
there.
yeah!
Hold on, let me reach
Okay,
him.
thank you. Oh, you are long and you are strong.
No, I am not. I am not long and I am not strong.
I have a finished object.
I love
Those are
these.
so cute.
I love the color combination. I would have never thought to put these two
This
together.
came as a sock set.
It
and
was
it's
a sock
so
set.
smart. It's so freaking beautiful. I
Okay,
can't.
if you are the dyers behind Leo and Roxy, mwah, chef's kiss.
So a couple of years ago, they had a quarterly club.
They did.
Was it 2022?
It was.
2022. Anahí and I both invested in it, and this was the summer colorway.
Yeah.
I think this one is called Eat Your Algae.
Which actually, I can see that.
It's so
Yeah.
cute.
Oh man. Okay, hold on. Let me pull up my phone. But I also got this. Oh crap.
You okay?
Somebody's dropping something off at my apartment and I'm not there.
Well, dang.
Snickerdoodles. Okay.
So yeah, we received 4 packages in the mail throughout the year 2022, and this was one of the packages. So it came with 1 full skein of variegated yarn, and then 2 solid
Mini
minis.
skeins, yeah.
And it didn't come with a pattern,
No.
but that was the exciting part because you get
Yeah,
to
'cause you
pick
got
what
to-
you want to make with it. If it's socks, then it's socks, and if it's not socks, then you can do whatever else you want, like a shawl or a hat or whatever. So yeah, it took me forever to break into this colorway because I just found it so precious. I didn't want to cast it on.
Oh my gosh, I just pulled up my project page and I made them pretty
So
much the
similar,
same.
yeah.
Except I did the blue first and then the pink, and then I did a pink heel and then the toe. But
That's
the
so
colorways are called Day at the Beach is the main
A Day
color.
at the Beach.
The pink is called Eat Your Algae.
Yeah.
And the blue is called Tranquil. And it's
So
by Leo and
cute.
Roxy Yarn Co.
So yeah, Leo and Roxy have not done this yearly sock delivery club again, but please do it again. I will jump on board. It was
100%.
so
I
good.
would be invested in that.
And the pattern was super enjoyable too. This is a simple ribbed sock by Kate Atherley.
Oh, love her.
Love her. There it is. I actually got so excited after finishing these socks that I put them on before they were even blocked.
And
But
I
now
would-
they are blocked and they are beautiful.
I would just like to take a second and say these were your vacation socks.
These were my vacation socks.
These were the socks that you brought on vacation with me and V in 2022.
And I was working on them 2 at a time, so it was super portable and travel friendly.
And then we came back and you put them down.
That's right.
And then they went with you to France for a little bit.
They did.
And then you put them down.
Yep.
And then they came with us on vacation in February.
Yeah.
And you finished them.
Yep.
Though, honestly, the look on her face when she finished them, she was so proud.
I was so proud of myself.
I mean, who wouldn't be?
We had this habit of we'd go to the beach and then we'd come back at like 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon. We'd all shower, get cleaned up, kind of have a little bit of quiet time, and then we'd go for dinner.
Yeah.
And I remember I was laying on my bed. I think Vanessa was still in the shower and you were under the covers in your bed.
Yeah.
And you just finished it and you held it up and you're like, look,
I'm done.
the quiet joy in your face was so wonderful to see.
I was so proud of myself because really, this is one of the languishing whips that I kept forgetting about. And every time I saw the bag, I was like, ugh, the damn socks I forgot that I was making. So just serendipitously, it ended up being the travel socks
Yeah.
because I only
Grab
worked
them.
on them when I was on a plane or on a train or
When
in
you
a
had,
hotel.
you were cornered, essentially, and you're like, I
Exactly.
have to do this.
Well, because it's not that I forced myself, but, I remember packing to go to the Arctic with our friend Pete.
Yeah.
And thinking, okay, well, I have a big opportunity here to bring something I want to knit on that will really make some progress on, because that's a long trip. And specifically chose this bag with these socks because I wanted to get them done.
So that's 4 trips they've been on.
Oh, yeah.
They're fully international travelers.
They also
now.
went to Mexico with me. Although
5 trips.
I didn't work on them at all. I just had them on the backpack and then
Snickerdoodles.
ended up not being able to work on them at all.
Hold on.
Do you want to take
I'm
it?
just going to step away and answer this. Yeah,
you feel free to go into the office.
Sorry. I'll be right back, everybody.
I mean, it is almost up.
Yeah.
So
and this is your friendly reminder that people on the internet are still people with responsibilities.
With responsibilities and things to do.
Exactly.
Even on Sunday.
Even on Sundays. But who's delivering stuff on a Sunday? I guess it must be like
Yeah, that's weird.
FedEx, I guess.
Or Amazon.
There's no post on Sundays.
I think Amazon delivers all the time.
Oh,
right?
okay. Well, that might be
I don't know what it is.
Okay.
So that's a very Actually, that's kind of annoying to me. I get that the convenience of having like deliveries all day every day.
Yeah.
But at the same time, a part of me is like, but then it kind of, you never have a reprieve. You know, a day where you're like, no, you don't have to expect a delivery. You don't have to cater to someone. You can just relax, you know?
What I think about when I
a
get deliveries of something on the weekend is like, oh, someone's working the weekend.
Well,
They don't get their weekends.
No, and that's kind of annoying to me.
And I remember working in the hospitality industry and not having my weekends free and being like off of work on a freaking Tuesday afternoon when there's nothing to do. Things are closed and your friends are at work. So it's not a great life.
No, it's.
So I feel for if you're a delivery person, I feel you. Thank you.
Thank you for your work.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Hello. We were talking about how hard it must be to be a delivery person.
Oh, this isn't so much a delivery person. It's
you get to
doing
work
a
on
favor for a friend.
Ah,
okay.
Yeah.
Different.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things where it's like I offered to help somebody with something, and they were like, "Oh my god, amazing! I can drop this thing off to you because I'm fixing something for somebody." And they're like, "I can drop this thing off to you. Actually, my friend can drop this thing off to you." And then we've just been getting our wires crossed in terms of when. And she was just at my place to drop it off, and I was like, "I'm so sorry," but she lives just up the street from here, which is why this was the. Anyway, I'm gonna stop on my way home later and pick it up.
You figured it out.
Yeah,
there we go.
sorted
That's
it.
what
So
matters.
efficient.
We sorted it.
That is what matters.
Yeah.
Yep. Did you like my slide in the background?
I liked it.
Excellent.
It was very
It's my knitted socks.
Tom Cruise.
Where are they? My
So
knitted
cute.
socks.
Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Are those the ones that I swapped with you?
No, but it's the same pattern.
Oh, so cute.
So a while back, you and I tested the same pattern
For
Autumn Poppy Designs.
Autumn Poppy
Designs.
Great
And
socks. Yeah.
you made yours too big.
Yeah.
And then I test knit a pair of socks for another designer.
And you knit yours too
And
small.
I knit mine too small. And we were both grumpy about it. And then
Yeah.
somebody was like, well, why don't you switch? And we were like,
Genius.
I love how it's like somebody else had to come up
Yeah.
with the idea because they're like,
like
wait, what?
I couldn't even, the socks
We
that I
can
made,
do
I
that?
couldn't even get over my heel. Like, they were so small. I was like,
Yeah.
no, I worked so hard.
Yeah, and mine were so big I could kick them
You were
off.
flopping around like you look like a penguin wearing them.
It was so
but they
funny.
fit me perfectly and they fit you perfectly.
Yeah.
So,
This is why it's nice to be part of a knitting community because at the same or a crocheting community.
Yeah.
It's because if you do
knitting
happen
community.
to do something to make something that's too big or too small, you know knit-worthy, crochet-worthy people who will most likely take very good care of what it is and you don't feel as bad to
let go of it.
Let go of it because you're, it's not like you're giving it to someone who's
Yeah,
going to mistreat
absolutely.
it. So it's kind of nice to know that you can,
Yeah.
it's not a complete loss.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. It works out that way though. It works out that way. So.
Do you have something on your list that you're casting on?
Actually, yes. Yes. So I had thought long and hard about what I was going to start after I finished this. I do have a bunch of languishing whips that I'm working on at home because they're just a little bit too complicated to be doing while at here or at knit night or like commute knitting, whatever. So, those are happening in the background. But I purchased last fall, Hello Stella, a dyer in Hamilton, Ontario, put out a special like winter set of, it was a main skein and 12 minis that were inspired by the seminal classic 2005's Pride and Prejudice, directed by Joe Wright, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Masterpiece.
It's a really good movie.
Soothing.
Immaculate vibes.
She put out a set inspired by the movie, and it was fantastic, and I was so excited to like purchase it and then to open them every couple of days. Because it was mystery style when it originally came out. And I freaking loved it. And I wasn't the only one. I wasn't the only one who loved it. I feel like I have talked about Rebecca Clow from the Crea so much
Because
today.
we're such fans.
I freak frackin' love her designs and her podcast and all of that so much.
Do you know Rebecca Clow read my mind inadvertently?
Oh.
Last year, around the time when Pedro Pascal was at the height of his popularity.
He's still popular.
He's still popular, but it was like the time when everyone was like
when he was,
swooning over.
everybody was like, daddy, daddy.
Yeah. He walked a red carpet with like a slutty knitted mesh
I remember that.
sweater.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to make myself a slutty Pedro Pascal knitted mesh cardigan.
Yeah.
But I looked at the photos super hard, and then I found the website where he had bought it, and it was like thousands of dollars.
Well, of
Some
course.
like weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then I started to try to decipher how to make it, and I couldn't decipher how to make it, and I got discouraged. And immediately after that, Rebecca Clow released a pattern exactly like it.
Hero.
Not exactly.
The Corin cardigan?
Hero.
The Corrigan?
Corin cardigan.
Corin cardigan.
So
good.
Hero
And it was the hero
for doing
hero.
this.
First of all, how did you do it? You were in my mind. We were paired via Bluetooth or something. But all the way from there, she was like, "I got you. Let me make this pattern
From
for you."
Edinburgh.
Well, I mean,
She
she's
was
also
like, I
she's
know.
probably doing it also for herself. A
Well,
little
no,
bit.
like the way she does her pattern, like if you watch her podcast, she's I think a project manager for an engineering firm or something. I can't quite remember, but anyway, she plans it backwards. She's like, I want to release it at this time, which means it has to be finished testing this time, which means it needs to be tech-aided by this time. So she's like a pattern that she's releasing around the time that came out.
She's
It's
planning
probably
it.
been
She
in
designed
development.
it 6 months earlier,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is very impressive.
So
But,
that was very serendipitous.
yeah.
Thank
But-
you, Rebecca from
Rebecca.
the Crea.
She has she released 2 meant to be like Advent-ish, like mini skein inspired patterns last year in December called the Daft Days cardigan and the Daft Days shawl. And when I saw the shawl, I was like, that's it, I gotta make that. And then when I received this Hello Stella yarn set, Rebecca was also opening it and also equally as excited. It was very adorable to watch in her stories each day as she opened it. But I decided I'm going to make the Daft Days shawl out of that yarn set.
Oh, yes.
And I'm so frackin' excited because it's all non-superwash yarn. So I know it's going to be so squishy and warm and cozy. And I love the movie. I love the book. I'm so excited. I haven't knit a shawl to completion in a very long time. Several of my languishing whips are currently shawls, but this one I won't let sit. I think this one, based off of the pattern, I think this would be good popcorn knitting because it's similar to this in that it's like the same stitch pattern that you do for the vast majority of the project. So I have a feeling this will be one that I can just like pick up and vibe with, like without having to think much on, which I'm pretty stoked about.
That kind of knitting is so special to me because I'm rarely just knitting or crocheting. I'm usually multitasking some other stuff. So I'm listening to an audiobook or watching TV or I'm out and about or on a walk or I'm playing D&D or
making a podcast.
Making a podcast. So I cannot concentrate on patterns that have so much detail or that change their motif multiple times. I need something like this or like to keep me entertained that is not just stuck in it, entertaining enough that it won't like bore my hands, but not so complicated that I can't also watch Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And still
So
know
good.
what's happening.
Yeah.
So good.
So
the
good.
live action Avatar. Ooh,
Oh my God.
wee.
I mean, is it? I don't know. It's still not as good as the original, but I mean, how could the original ever be beaten?
Loved it.
But it's still so good as an adaptation, as a live adaptation.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with it.
So this is something I was knitting when I was watching Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I've only watched the first episode.
Yeah. So yeah, those are my favorite kind of patterns. The ones that keep you entertained, but the motif is simple enough that I can potato chip it.
Yeah.
And just like keep going without thinking too much about it, so that I can do something else with my eyes at the same time, or with my ears.
Knitting without looking is one of my favorite skills that I have, and so finding a pattern where I can knit without looking is like chef's kiss.
Yeah.
See, I can only do it for like 3 or 4
stitches,
like
Stitches at a time.
and then it's like no, like I have to look because otherwise it's like I start going too fast and then I don't
You
knit
miss a
properly
stitch
or I miss a stitch, so I'm like, you know what, I'm not there yet, and that's okay.
Yeah.
and you don't need to be.
fair.
That's not like a requirement for you to enjoy your craft.
Oh, 100%. But it does make watching TV a little easier.
Oh,
Oh no!
I got yarn barf.
Boo. Well, where's the other end of the ball? Here.
Well,
I'll work backwards. You work forwards.
okay.
We can do it. We can do it.
We can. What do you mean I work forwards?
Like,
okay, I got it.
yeah.
Okay, thank you. Knitting with friends. I think there's something wrong with the way that I cake my yarns. Because this happens to me way more than I wish it did.
When you cake them, do you do them really loose or do you do them really tight?
I try to do it like a medium tension.
And do you pull from the inside or the outside?
Of the hank? Of the skein?
Of the ball once it's been...
Oh, from the outside.
Okay.
I don't like pulling from the middle because then it kind of flops and collapses in on itself.
Yeah.
And
See, I skein...
that's not the vibes.
Wind up my skeins of yarn really tight, so I like pulling from the middle because then you can like release the tension, and then whatever's left over is not really taut on the ball afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's interesting because I don't know
I have a
where
lot of
I
stress
heard.
in my life, and I have to take it out somehow.
I don't know where I heard that you shouldn't wind your
You
yarn
shouldn't.
too tight.
You really shouldn't.
Because it
it's
loses
bad.
elasticity or
Yeah,
something.
it's actually really bad for the wool fibers. I'm not taking my own advice here, but
like if you're gonna work with it immediately after, and you're gonna be taken from the middle, then it will relax.
And there's a lot of people who really say you should wind them twice. So take it from the skein, and then wind it into a cake, and then wind it again. And
From the cake?
From the cake, and your second cake will be the perfect tension. And I'm like, I don't.
That
got
seems like
time
so
for
much
that.
work, though.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm like, baby
I
girl,
don't
she's
wanna.
lazy. She's lazy. I'm the kind of person who, if I have like a large project, like a sweater or something, I will cake up 2 at a time. I won't cake them all up. I'll just cake up 2 at a time.
Really?
Yep.
I'm a cake all in one go.
Yeah,
I'm not a
same.
fan of winding up so much yarn.
Actually, no. You know what? It really depends because I've done both. So
Yeah.
I don't think I have a specific. I think it just depends on how much time I have.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And now that you have a winder of your own, you can do it whenever
I've
you
just
want.
ordered a new winder because mine's kind of falling apart.
Oh, you had was it the Knit Picks one?
No, it was like a crappy plastic Amazon one that I bought at a time when I was like, I need it, but I don't want to spend money on it.
Yeah.
And then regretted it because it's so
What
flimsy.
in the snickerdoodles is happening here?
I don't know, bud. I don't know, but I appreciate your help.
Oh wait, I think I might have loosened it enough. Yeah, Bilbo, that's right. That's what we think of knots.
Whew. That was stressful. Do you remember when our friend Sherry brought a spaghetti monster to knit night?
I do.
I don't know how that happened, but it was like kinked up yarn that had been recovered from something
She
else.
recycled it, yeah.
Yeah. And so she tried to wind it up in a cake, and the kinks made more knots.
It was lace weight too.
And it was lace weight, and it was bright red, so it hurt your eyes to look at
It was
it.
a lot.
I don't know. I remember.
Spaghetti
a
monster.
lot.
Before
It was a community effort.
Well, she would bring it to Knit Night. She brought it to Knit Night for weeks.
Oh,
yeah.
And it was
Thank you
just
so
one
much.
of those things.
whoever
where, like,
needed to like
they were done a project, or they forgot one, or like they
just
didn't want to work on whatever they had,
felt like doing it.
and
Yeah.
they would just like. And at one point, we were going from both sides of the knotty mess,
Yeah.
and it just was like people were working on it, and I don't know if it ever was finished.
I don't know.
I don't think it was, but like we were
did some
going,
good
we were
progress
working
on that.
it. It was really a team community.
It really
effort.
was. I'm
Well,
proud of us for that.
That's the thing though, when you actually make the yarn ball like by hand instead of, that's something I've noticed is that I would get yarn barf like 1 out of 2 times, like 50% of the time, I
Yeah.
get that. It wouldn't be as traumatic as this one, but it was always like somewhere in the middle.
You calling me dramatic?
No, traumatic.
Ow. Because I am.
No.
The skein fell apart when I started caking it. It's done. Yay!
Ah, there we go.
Amazing, Sherry. Thank you for the
Great
update.
news, great
We
news.
were
But
grateful
yeah,
for that.
like
we can
yeah.
let the viewers know.
That is
Been
that's
finalized.
definitely something that, but you know what? I know this might sound a little controversial, but I actually don't hate when there's yarn. Like I don't
Yarn barf?
mind unpicking it. Like I
In
can
small
do
amounts,
it.
it's
Like yeah,
fine.
obviously if it's a huge thing, but like if it's like I find it very soothing
Yeah.
Oh.
to like do that when I'm like talking to someone or watching TV or something to
Mm.
just like unpick knots. Or even just wine.
Don't say
by
that out
myself.
loud. People are gonna bring you all their yarn barf.
Okay,
Yeah,
not
I
at
know.
it's
All their spaghetti
not at midnight.
monsters. They're gonna bring it
But
to
like
ya.
usually it's like if I'm at home and I'm like and I have one, I'll be like, yeah, this is okay, like a little bit. Like usually within like half an hour, I'm like, okay, I'm done. But like, but I don't mind it. I find it very relaxing.
That's good. That's good. No, I try to avoid yarn barf wherever I can. If I'm like switching colors in a thing, everything gets wound up again. Like I am a little over the top about keeping my supplies corralled
Mm-hmm.
because I do not particularly enjoy. I don't mind helping out somebody else, but I hate unpicking the knots in my own yarn.
Isn't that how it always works?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, you know, you're okay with helping others, but when it's
Yeah.
you, it's like, it's fine.
Yeah, like I have cut out knots in
So
things that are
Right?
too thick.
Oh, it's fine. Like, I'll deal with it later. Who cares? But if it's somebody else, it's like, I got you.
I got you, girl. Yeah.
Well, because if
So
it's somebody
true.
else's, it's voluntary. If it's yours, you have to deal with it.
Yeah, that's true. Responsibility versus, you know, like friendship.
Offering to help, yeah. So
And just like that, it is 10 now.
I can't believe it.
We're not
So
enough
yeah,
stop.
time flies.
Time does
When
fly
you're
when you're having
having
fun.
fun.
Yay.
Yeah, well, thank you for joining us, and more importantly, thank you for listening to Bilbo's Snores ASMR. You know, coming
Bilbo
to you
edition.
live,
AKA the
Bilbo
voice of an
edition.
angel.
Yes, the voice of an angel.
I don't know, man. When he was like horking on our first episode, I can still hear that in my nightmares. When he was
The
like,
barf of an angel.
Barf of an angel. That is the mascot we need.
Absolutely.
the mascot we deserve.
And
So-
the mood of the day is snores.
So thank you so much for joining us, Purl's Perspective.
Yeah.
We are.
who are we?
Who are we?
That is the question of the
Carine.
Anahí.
Allie.
And we'll see you again in 2 weeks.
With a video.
that we've pre-recorded
That
on
is-
a very
yes.
important, close to our hearts topic that
Yes.
we hope you will enjoy.
Yes.
Yes.
So until then, happy knitting!
Bye.
Happy knitting. Bye.